Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Ghost and Molly McGee Season 1 Episode 16, the second half, called The Internship. And I have a clip this time, so let's get started. We first have, we're in school, which is cool. And your mom's like, oh, it's internship week, and Scratch is about to flick some gum, onto a student, but he shouldn't be able to hold a pencil. I probably need to stop holding on to Scratch. A ghost can touch things physical, even though he's a ghost, he can walk through it. Maybe I should just accept that he can do both, but I don't know, that's just so weird, so I just might keep complaining about it. Who knows? So he just holding the pencil, should go right through him, and he flicks a piece of gum into someone, and Molly kind of surprised him, like, oh, it's internship week, and he's just like, no, Molly, she's saying all great things about internships, being internship of the, intern of the year and intern of the decade, have a medal for Hapifier or something. And then Scratch like, no, Molly, you have internships all wrong. It's not about you doing the work. It's about you doing work for other people. And he's like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm gonna do that. So he's gonna hire an intern. Okay. Because she actually says, I'm gonna get an internship, become intern of the year, then intern of the decade, get a full-time job, then become the world's greatest Hapifier. That's her dream job. Okay, which is pretty cool. It's in the same episode as her being mayor for the day. Who does Molly want to be? And we get back to the subject of her wanting to Happify Brian and the world. She wants to make the world a better place, basically. It kind of reminds me of Judy from Zootopia. I guess spoilers from the movie. She wants to make the world a better place as a police officer, which is pretty cool. It's a good idea. And then we had the teacher saying that, maybe one of you will work at the first internship is at the bakery, and she's like, oh, she's so sweet, the owner, and I'm not just saying that because I married her. So, I guess her wife works at the bakery. I think we heard of her before when Daryl, sent the teachers to prison. I don't think I really liked that episode. Daryl should not be the focus of any episode this moment forward, because I'm just having flashbacks of the episode. It wasn't really good. I might have given it an okay, but I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly. But and she actually mentioned her before. Oh, I should call her because I'm gonna be late for dinner because she's in jail. But she didn't know she was in jail. They thought it was a scavenger hunt. Spoilers. So I think she said her name. What was it? Patty? No, Patty was the old woman from the Bad Boy Bobby Daniels episode. I forgot her name, but she works at a bakery, and she's super sweet. Okay, and then but Molly said, "Oh, I can definitely Happify people at the bakery. Oh, definitely." And she said, "Oh, Libby," and Libby doesn't have too much of a big focus this episode, which is fine. She can do her own thing, and Libby's gonna intern at the bakery. Cool. Maybe we'll get a Libby spinoff, maybe. And we'll get more of her in the bookstore, because that's where her mom works. And this episode of her interning at the bakery, and then because there's a later scene, it's so cool. Where in a later scene, Libby comes back and she makes turnip shaped cupcakes. They don't taste like turnips, but they look like it. It's really well designed, and So, and then in the episode, if it was focused on Libby, we get to that point where Libby comes to the classroom, with her talking to Molly, and that's where we see Molly covered in skunk smell. It's like, oh, Molly must not she must not be having a good internship day. So that'll be a way to do like a reverse, or like a what if episode. That'd be pretty cool. So Libby's gonna internship at the bakery, and then she says, and then Mom's like, "Oh, okay." And then what was it, like? Kat got one. What was it? Peter got one. Jeremy got one. Zach, and then Molly, it's your turn. And she's like, "Oh!" And she's like, you get the internship at Weird Larry's pawn shop. Oh, she didn't even say it. Boom. We just see the store, and we just see skunks everywhere. Oh, so disgusting. And I'm just going to take a point off right now. When Larry, spoilers, Larry tries to make a point to Molly of him trying to inhabify one person at a time, and it's weird like that, which is a good message. It's just such a health violation of having skunks in your store. I just don't like it, but the skunks spraying everywhere outside the store. Scratch comes with his new intern, Reggie. I like Reggie. He has glasses. He's very nerdy. Reggie, meet Molly. Molly, meet my intern, Reggie. Oh, hi. I think it was a big security risk for Scratch just to allow Reggie to meet Molly. I guess Scratch immediately thought that Reggie doesn't have a backbone. Well, literally, he doesn't. He's a ghost. But he had no strength of his own. So if Scratch says, hey, you're not going to mention Molly to anyone, he's probably not going to do it. So, but the end, okay, I'm not going to spoil the end until we actually get there, but I'm like, ooh, this is a big, but I'll get to that in a little bit. He said, oh, meet Reggie. Oh, hi. And she's trying to cover her nose. It's so bad. It's like, oh, Reggie, the skunk smell. Suck it up. And then he just eats it. Ugh. But he's like, ugh. But I'm like, Reggie, you shouldn't be able to taste it. But whatever. And then, like, and then Molly has a good point. Hey, Scratch, you shouldn't treat Reggie so poorly. He could be your boss. And if you're so mean to him, he's going to be mean to you. It's a cycle. And then he's like, that's a risk I'm willing to take. Oh, boy. We get inside the store, and Larry's like, oh, there's my intern. He's like, paying skunks. Why are there skunks in your store? Whatever. And then he's like, and Molly's like, oh, hey, Larry. Oh, hey, Lee, we're gonna have a great time. Oh, okay. And there's a customer that comes in, and it's that super depressed guy. When we get to the final episode of this season, there's something I want to talk about that guy. That's all I'm going to mention for now until we get to the last episode. It's like a little theory that people are having. Is it true? Maybe, but I mean, I would put. I mean, I wouldn't put it past me. Like I was like, that kind of makes sense, but I won't talk about it now. Not until the last episode, which should be next week. It's pretty soon. What was it? Right. So I did. So that very depressed guy is like, oh, okay. Oh, Larry's like, hey Molly, do you want to take this customer? He's like, oh hi, how can I bring your life joy today? I want to get rid of this junk. It's like, okay, like, oh, this rusty pipe, this rusty nail. I don't know what this is. This rusty clippers, sir. I don't think we can do it. And Larry kind of interrupts her. Larry, don't do that. And he's like, oh, we'll happily take it. Here's your money. Have a wonderful, weird day. He has a hat that appears like, he takes it off just like a ballerina under it or something. It's like a magic trick. Okay. And there's a rainbow appears. Oh. And Mom's like, Larry, what are you doing? This is junk. It's like, yeah, but you need to have a keen eye. Come on, look. And she's like, okay. Oh, but he's like, did you notice this watch? It's broken. Have you noticed this and this? He's like, okay. Oh, hey, look at this robot. And he's like, oh, good eye. And she's like, oh, poor robot. Oh, you were discarded. Oh, don't worry. We'll take care of you. Molly doesn't even move her. Luckily, she moved her fingers quick enough. Maybe Larry just assumed. But Larry just, boom, crushed the robot. Her fingers were right there. Larry, what are you doing? I know you're weird, but no. Weird and dangerous are two different things. Spoilers for the Owl House with the first episode of season 1 when Luz brought those snakes and those spiders and dynamite. You don't know the snakes have venom. You don't know the spiders are poisonous. Those fireworks. Where were you gonna set them off? Well, we know where she set them off if you watched the first episode, but later. But besides that, I'm like, yeah, you're weird and weird's fine, but not dangerous. Don't be dangerous. So, Larry, I know you're weird. Don't be dangerous, please. Do not crush people's fingers with hammers when their fingers are on things. Please. Anyway. I mean, I might be overreacting. Those must have been like gardener snakes, but still, we don't know. It wasn't specified. Um, but besides that, and he crushed his robot. Like, oh, look at this! It was 1967. Like, um, it was a voice box. It's for my top secret project, and I was like, you have a top secret project? Oh my goodness! And then she's kind of freaked out. You almost crushed my fingers, man. And then he's like, yeah, plenty. I was like, oh. And so they're kind of talking. And so they, oh, why don't you sort through these items, okay? And she's like, oh, okay. And and it falls everywhere. And then here we have Reggie right here. And then he's like, when do I get to scare Mr. Scratch? And he's like, scare me up a bed. And he's like, I don't. Because I'm tired. I don't understand. And he's like, hey, listen to me. I just want to play this right here.
Hey, Reg, the place of an intern is not to question. Right, that's right. One bed coming up. I love having an intern.
That's great, but I'm learning nothing.
So hopefully that wasn't too long, but he's like, Reggie, listen to me. The place of an intern is not the question. And I was like, oh my goodness, I think that's a stereotypical boss who just treats everyone like garbage. Your interns like garbage and stuff like that. I mean, I haven't been in an internship before, so hopefully, whoever I intern for will be nice and would actually teach me stuff. Basically, again, I wanted to go in an internship, so hopefully, in my experience, it hasn't happened yet, but in my experience, hopefully, it will go well. Fingers crossed. But anyway, because this actually kind of got me thinking, oh yeah, I want to be an intern. Hopefully my boss will be nice. Like my role model. He just brings him a bed. What are you doing? He's like, I love having an intern. And she's like, I'm having a horrible time. I'm glad you're having fun. And it's like, I'm learning nothing. And she thinks this is a pillow because it's weird Larry's pawn shop, so this kind of makes sense why he would have something like this, but it must be like somewhere else. And she just lays her head on it. So, oh my god, she's like, this is skunk. And we're back in Brighton Middle, and like she's just smelling up the place. I'm assuming she used like, I assuming she took a shower. Didn't she use tomato soup? The canned tomato sauce? Because I know she's trying to express like how stinky she is. So, like, because of the whole pawn shop. This is such a weird scene. The weird image. There we go. But if you use canned tomato sauce, maybe Molly doesn't know about it. But who doesn't know that? To get rid of skunk smell, the acid from tomatoes would make it go away. And then you have to take a long shower afterwards. I'm actually kind of remembering from Rugrats, actually, there was an episode where the tomato soup actually didn't work on Chucky. It was an old family recipe. So maybe Molly did work it, or did use it, but it didn't work. Yeah, okay, so never mind. And then Libby's like, oh, look, this was saying before, I made turnip-shaped cupcakes. And then Molly's trying to be happy for her friend. It's oh, Libby, I'm so happy for you. And then Libby's trying to smell, and she's like, I had to go talk to the teacher. And this is so funny. She's smelling herself to see if she's stinking, but no, Libby's not you. She goes onto the teacher's computer. Don't do that. She must have been working on something important. Obviously, this looks like nothing, but to her eyes, it must be something important. So Molly, don't do that. Is it and she's like, oh, what's that smell? Like, it smells like gasoline or something. And she's like, my goal is to inhabify the world. And I love this face. She's like, and the weird Larry's pawn shop is where dreams go to die. So let's just reassign me, okay? And then, she's like, no, Molly, come on. I can't just reassign you. But hey, in this dark cloud, I know you find the silver lining because that's what you do, right? And she's like, right, I can't inhabify the world if I can't inhabify the pawn shop. I was like, yeah, you had to start small first. And she's like, oh, thank you. And she was about to hug her, but she's like, no, like, your smell is burning my nostrils. It hurts. And then I like this song. And he's like, oh, like, and Happify. And she's like, oh, she's like, oh, like, when I'm feeling blue, I just had to find silver lining, stuff like that. She's finding weird stuff. And Reggie's just feeding Scratch donuts. Oh, don't worry. Okay, don't worry. I'm actually kind of liking this. In the song, is even when we're not focusing on them, we're focusing on Molly. We still see hints of Scratch kind of treating Reggie poorly because that's still happening in the current time. So that makes sense. And he's all clean the cobwebs and I'll get the taxidermy out of the way. And this is so funny. Reggie's about to feed him a sub, but the taxidermy possum went to Scratch. How come he didn't notice that? But even Reggie's like, oh, hopefully he didn't notice. But I guess we didn't see like right after because he was still chewing it, so maybe he didn't notice and he just yelled at him. It was just off screen. Okay. And she's like, oh, the skunk smell. Just breathe through your mouth. And she's like, oh my goodness, no. Oh no. And she just grabs Scratch's face. He's like, and Happify. Like, no, don't do that. Oh, like, fix all the broken watches. I'll throw out all the bad stuff. And then he's like, you got me the wrong coffee. I forgot what it was. Like, you got me a frappuccino. I want a mocha latte or something like that. Completely different drinks. And the Scratch is just chasing Reggie. Oh my goodness, I love it. Trying to see where I should stop. Okay, so I'm just gonna play this right here. So I'll just leave it right there. I know I didn't really get it in the song like I did for the other ones, but this isn't one of my favorite songs. Like, if it was kind of like if I had a clip for what was it? Go back to City Hall. Return to City Hall. I think I would go something in the middle because it was really good. This was good, but this was just basically about how cleaning up the pawn shop and stuff, which again isn't bad. I guess I just really want to get the scene, and I got something earlier, so I only focus on 2 scenes. But anyway, she cleans up the place, and Weird Larry comes back in. And he's like, what happened? When the weird world happened? He's like, oh, I fixed all your stuff. It's like, where are all my broken watches? Like, all his weird stuff, basically. He's like, and one of the possums tried to attack, one of his skunks tried to, attack her. He's like, wait, no, was it Vera or something? Vera, like, don't worry, Molly's trying, she's here to learn. Hopefully she'll start soon. Molly, I'm sorry, but I like the way things were. Just put it back, please. And then Molly's just really upset. And like, oh, man. And then there was another thing. And she's like, Scratch, I did everything you asked. Can I scare her now? And he just looks in the sandwich because he tastes something. Are these green olives? I specifically asked for black olives. How could you not get it right? He's like, I don't know. He's just like, think what you done. Think we just done. Okay. And what happens? All right, Weird Larry comes back, and then she's like, "Weird Larry, this isn't working out. I want to make the world a better place. Your place is where things come to die. Okay, like we're orange juice and toothpaste. Like, it doesn't work." And then Weird Larry actually kind of feels like, oh, I didn't even know you felt like that. And then she's like, hey, Molly, you got it all wrong. My place isn't meant to bring joy to die. It's meant to bring joy to life. Because, the reason why he came out is he wanted to show Molly his new project he was working on. And it's like, whoa, you made this. It was like a T-Rex. You made this all by yourself? It's like, yeah. And remember the what was it? The voice box? The voice box from the old robot. It was a robot from like the 50s or something. He puts it into the T-Rex and it talks. So and it's like, oh, that's cool. And then she's like, oh wow, you took all that old junk and you brought joy. You brought something cool. And it's like, yeah, he didn't really say this, but I'm pretty sure he meant to say this. I was saving this for my intern. And since that's you, Molly, you want to be my dragon slayer. Oh, that's so cool. And she like she's about to attack the dragon, and it cuts away to, oh right, the ghost council is summoning Reggie. It's time for your, what was it? Your internship review. Is it Scratch like review? Because he has to go. We get to the ghost council with the chairman, and she's like, oh, Reggie, what did Scratch teach you? And he's like, Mr. Scratch hasn't taught me anything. You're like, what? And the chairman's like thumbs down. And he's about to get sucked into the flow again. That's the second time. Ooh. Hopefully that doesn't get too repetitive, because I'm never going to know if you're actually being serious. Is he actually going to get sucked in or not? So maybe it happens once again, but no more after that, unless he's actually going to get sucked in. Like, only do like 3 times. Yeah, because I think 4 or more will be just too much. So he's about to be sucked in, and Reggie obviously doesn't, even though Scratch was being mean to him, he's not that type of ghost. He's not going to let Scratch get sucked in. Wait, no. Look, you let me finish. Scratch hasn't taught me anything, because he taught me everything. And then Chairman's kind of confused by this, like, okay. He stopped the circle, the transporter. And then he's like, oh, how? Oh, order me around, let me, tuck him in and stuff like that. It taught me patience and perseverance. And him yelling at me, it taught me how to be scary. He turns a big ghost and just these fumes coming out of his mouth, and they're like, oh, is that skunk smell I smell? And it's like, yeah, I've been saving that up for weeks, all thanks to Mr. Scratch. And he's like, yeah, but that's another gem from Mr. Scratch's training. And he's like, yep. And he's like, oh wow, Reggie, you learned so much. In that case, you get promoted. What was it, like the West Wing of scaring or something? And it's like, you hear that, Scratch? I'm your boss now. Oh no. And we get back to Molly. She's finding the dragon. He said, oh, you need to insert the key with the broom. And then and the dragon's defeated. Oh, that's cool. He's like, oh, did you have fun, Molly? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, if you rebuild this to show you other projects, you can inhabify the world. Oh, my job isn't to inhabify the world, Molly. That's your job. Or at least that's what I think you want to do. My job is to inhabify one person at a time. And Molly's like, huh. Because he even says, like, I'm weird like that. And, we get the teacher coming back into the pawn. We actually, this is the first time we see her in the pawn shop. She comes in for Molly's review. Oh, Molly, like, what have you learned? I learned that running a pawn shop is like slaying a dragon, and like, she's doing all these big things, and she's kind of like, and she gave me a C minus, and she's like, well, did you learn something? Yeah, that anything or anyone can inhabify. They have the potential, so that's pretty cool. And he says, like, have a weird day, Molly. Oh, okay, have a weird day, Larry. Larry goes back into his pawn shop. And Scratch and Reggie come out of the portal. And Scratch is looking at scare reports. You have been slacking, Scratch. You better pick it up. And then Mom makes a joke, oh, I told you you'd be your boss. And then he's like, oh, yeah, whatever. And that's the end of the episode. Well, I want to say something. Reggie knows Molly's existence and her relationship with Scratch. Unless Scratch said that, oh, I'm ordering Molly around and she's my servant, kind of like you, she's like my intern. But if Reggie knows that Molly and Scratch are friends in some way, Scratch in a higher level can now go to the Ghost Council. But is he gonna do that? He seems like a nice guy. He wasn't like anti-human or anything. So hopefully he stays like that. Because I'm kind of worried. Like he knows about Molly and he's kind of in a higher, not as high as the Ghost Council, but he's kind of up there. So keep him happy, Scratch. Keep him happy. But let's see. What should I rate this episode? Let's see. 95, 90, 85. I give this an 80% also. I think it's a solid B. I thought it was great. I think I liked the first half a little bit better, but based on the things I saw and things I remember, I think it's pretty much the same. Just, I would just put Sis and McGee just a little bit higher. But yeah, both 80%. So overall, episode 16, 80%. I thought it was great. So yeah, everyone, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, don't forget to share the video, and I'll see you guys on Saturday for episode 17, which is, what was it? Lucky Penny and I forgot the other one. Sorry, I only remember the Lucky Penny. But yeah, I'll see you guys then for that. Okay. Bye.